Hi everyone, thank you to join this edition of Hong Kong Interior Design and Construction Management course. Today we talk about restaurant. Okay, let's get started. Okay, content of this lesson. The shop location is the requirement of the basic shop location for a restaurant. Type of restaurant. In Hong Kong, there's a different kind of restaurant. Not the style, it's concerning the business of the restaurant. Plan layout, ceiling, floor, seating, kitchen wall, kitchen, water supply, etc. This lesson we talk about mainly of the licensing, the statutory requirement of restaurant, mostly. Legal requirement is important. This affects the decoration of a restaurant very much. Oh, okay, this is a restaurant site prerequisite. You see, we can make a restaurant in many locations, such as hotel, shopping arcades, a private building, mostly the commercial building, of course. Because a restaurant can be located on the ground floor, or it can be located on the upper floor of a commercial building. For a hotel, mostly it's already designed by the architect. In the hotel, there's a special space allocated for the restaurant. Sanitary requirement. The kitchen, you see, the architect already make the layout, so it's maybe simpler to design a restaurant inside a hotel, because the architect have consider all the prerequisites for a restaurant. For shopping center, also, the architect also design the restaurant location, so it's legally suitable for a restaurant. You see this space. It's a kitchen here, and the sitting accommodations here, and the toilet facilities right here. So the basic requirement is already done. Of course, there's still a ventilation and exhaust air duct, but mostly it's done by the landlord. So if you rent a space in a shopping center, you should negotiate the basic requirement with the landlord. Mostly they have it done before you rent the space. For ground floor premise, it's a little bit difficult, because first of all, you need the drainage. If there's a low toilet, then you have to make the toilets by your own designer. There should be a drainage manhole somewhere located near to the shop location, so you can make your toilet. And for the upper floor, maybe there's a toilet already. You see here, there's a toilet here. But for upper floor, the floor loading is important. It's 4 kPa in Hong Kong. The loading requirement is 4 kPa. And the drainage, the kitchen drainage, you have raised the floor by live concrete to hide the drainage pipe. See this upper floor, if you want to make a restaurant on the upper floor, that's a bit tricky. Okay, type of food business. You see, type of restaurant is a general restaurant. It's a full menu restaurant. You can use exposed fire cooking in the pantry, customer toilets, and sitting. Live refreshment restaurant. For example, it's a noodle shop, coffee shop. It's a live refreshment. Why is there's a live refreshment restaurant? Because the provision for a live refreshment restaurant is simpler. Maybe you don't need a kitchen, but the type of food is listed by the authority, so it's restricted. It's not full menu. The food you serve is limited by the authority. cannot be open fire cooking. You should use electricity. You don't need a kitchen, but you need a pantry. This is for light refreshment restaurant. So the requirement is simpler than the full menu restaurant. For the takeaway, that is slow sitting, you require a food factory license, like a fish chip shop, you take away tea and coffee shop. And because there's no kitchen, then the open fire cooking is not allowed, and there's no toilets required. But maybe there's one staff toilets. There's no sitting, of course. And the food warming restaurant means there's no cooking of food. There's only warming of the food and sell it and take away. No sitting, of course. Neither the convenience shop, 24 hours convenience shop. There's a food warming food business. They apply a food factory license. No pantry, no open fire cooking. For permit, there's a food selling permit, like sushi bar, herb tea bar, etc. You only need a permit to sell this. Because there's a low cooking, you need a pantry, low customer's toilet, that you can provide sitting. A home restaurant is not really a restaurant. It should be no immediate order it 1 day before. So it actually is not a restaurant, it's a home restaurant, and there's a low license required. Restaurant license, food license, and permits. This is actually different things for food license and permits. I'm not going to talking about it in detail in this lesson. If I read it, there's a free type of restaurant license, take quite a long time. So you should consult your consultant. Special license and permits. Bread, ice cream. This is a sushi restaurant with permits. This is a shop with permits to sell the sushi. And also a restaurant, you need a permit to sell the sushi. I'm not explaining it in detail here. The licensed consultants business. So maybe talk about it in another occasion. So this is our restaurant layout, a typical restaurant layout. You see here is the outside sitting accommodation. You see here. In Hong Kong, the license for outside sitting accommodation is difficult to obtain because you need the consent of the tenant about your restaurant. So in most cases, the tenants about your restaurant won't admit outside sitting accommodation, because only a few restaurants in Hong Kong have the outside sitting accommodation license. So this is the entrance, the sitting accommodation, the bar, the pantry. This is the pantry, the bar, the kitchen. This kitchen was enclosed with a fireproof wall. In most cases, 1 hour. Fireproofing wall. Exit door. This is exit door here. It must be exit door for the means of escape. And toilets is a mandatory. Toilets. A VIP room. Staff rooms, locker. Staff room lockers. Locker room. Patio. Exhaust air and ventilation we require a certificate. We'll talk about it later in this lesson. Now this is ceiling, floor, and wall. We are not going to talk about the cosmetic matter. Talk about the legal requirement first. For floor ceiling to be sprayed with fire retarding holding by just the fire contractor. So the curtain and the wall, the wooden wall have to be fireproof. And the furniture, the upholstery, the padding of the furniture also have to be fireproof. In most cases, because the curtain and the sitting is loose, So when you apply for the license, during that time you just take away the loose furniture and the curtain. So when the officer come, there's no furniture and curtain. And after you have obtained the license, you install the curtain and put the loose furniture in place. So it's a little trick. Also in this restaurant, you see these trays. It is not fireproof, of course, but it's a kind of loose fitting. When the officer come, you just take away the trees. After the officer gone, you replace the tree there. When the officer gone, then you replace the furniture and the trees. So this is a trick. So you read this. I'm not going to talk about it in detail. So the seating. Of course, the seating is better of polyurethane lattice foam. This will be compared to BS 776. The officers will not be very strict on this because it's loose furniture. You can always take it away, and then replace anytime you like, and take it away at any time. When the officer comes, you just take it away. So, but for this case, it is banquet seating, because it is fixed seating. So maybe you can't take it any time you like. So this padding, you need apply fire retardant coating on it, so fulfill the fire requirement. Okay, the kitchen wall. You see, this is the kitchen wall. Nowadays we use a lightweight concrete block. Kitchen wall only require 1 hour fire resistant periods, only 1 hour. But if those wall is in big area, then you require steel channel reinforcement, so it won't collapse. This is the stainless steel cladding actually, because for the requirement, your kitchen wall have to be waterproof and not easy to get dirty. So the stainless steel is most appropriate. This is a protecting polythene. You tear it off, so it looks like this. This is inside the kitchen, the wall of the kitchen. Kitchen, the design of the kitchen actually is a specialist work. It is the work of a specialty contractor. You see this at least the kitchen table, shower table. It's got gas, the gas consumption, the electricity consumption. This is the gas pipe. It should be automatically switch off. It's called gas. When there's a fire, it automatically shut off. And this is the hood. A filter. This is the grease filter. This is the grease filter. And this the knife is called explosion proof. So when the bulb explodes, the fragment won't drop down to the foot. You see, this is the wok, the Chinese wok, and this is the fire. You see, this is the steamer, which consumes a lot of electricity. It consumes 50 ampere free phase, so very big consumption. So this. So when you open a restaurant, at least you need 100 ampere free phase. Of course, in most cases, you should use coal gas. Because you use coal gas, is cheaper. Kitchen ventilation. You see this kitchen ventilation. Now, 10 years ago, or 20 years ago, you can make the ventilation like this. But now they won't be allowed because it's very strict now. The building department won't allow this kind of installation. This is centrifugal fan. You see there's two fan here. This is the fan. This is the kitchen exhaust. You see, this is also the fan. This is the motor, and the exhaust. Yeah. This is actually the toilet, and this is extra fan. This is the extra fan. But for this is intake fan. You see, you got the fan here. This is the intake air. It blows the air into the kitchen. You see, like this. because if you burn the coal gas for cooking, you need a lot of fresh air. This is the fresh air blow into the kitchen. This is the fresh air outlet from outside right here. This is the fan, blow the air in, and this is the fresh air outlet. And this is the switch for the fan, for the centrifugal fan. It's a big switch. The start switch. This is centrifugal fan. This is you see, this is the exhaust for teppanyaki, the hot pan barbecue, teppanyaki, hot pan. Now you see this kitchen waterproofing. In Hong Kong, the waterproofing is not mandatory by the authority. But in most cases, essential works, because sometimes the water penetrate through the floor and to the tenant below floor. You see this the making of the waterproofing compound, and you push the waterproofing compound onto the floor like so. And then this is the water testing. Flush the floor with water. We see after the waterproofing, we do the raised floor using the lightweight concrete block. We need the raised floor to hide the drainage pipe. You see, this is the way how the people do it. Now you see, the raised floor, they have already done the raised floor. And then this is the channel, the stainless steel channel, water drainage channel. And this water pipe drain into this stainless steel channel. And this is the masonry channel. There's no stainless steel, but it's a concrete channel, you see here. And this we lay the lightweight concrete block to make the raised floor. You see? You see here. This is the raised floor here. And this is the surface channel. For this case, there's no surface channel, but they use a pipe. This is a plastic pipe, UPVC pipe, plastic pipe, to drain the water. Yeah, there's no surface channel. You see, this is the surface channel. For this case, there is on the ground floor, so they dig the ground floor slab to make the surface channel. But for upper floor, there's impossible, because you can't dig a hole on the floor slab for the upper floor. But on the ground floor, you can dig a surface channel like this. You see, this is the drainage pipe. Water supply. You see, this is the water supply pipe. This is here. Actually, this is a faucet for the washing machine, the type for the washing machine at our home. You see, this is plastic pipe to connect to it. They can use the plastic pipe because they can move it anyway they like. They can cut the pipe, make it longer and shorter, so that it's easy to control. So they like to use this kind of plastic pipe. And see, you see, this is the water heater. This one is an electrical water heater, because you can see the cable here. And this is the filter. The water come in like this. This is the cold water with the faucet here. You see the faucet, lever faucet. You see the lever here. The type they use for washing machine mostly at home. You can see it at home. This is the gate valve, and this is the water filter, and it goes into the water heater here, and the hot water goes out here. We can't hide the hot water pipe in the wall, because it expands, elongated when the hot water go through the pipe. So in most cases, won't hide inside the wall. This is the freshwater tank. required by the water department. For large consumption of potable water, you need a system, water system, to store the water. Now this is electricity supply. You see, this is the main TPN. This is 100 ampere TPN, triple pole neutral, triple pole 100. In most cases, we need 2 MCB board. That's the distribution board. This is the main distribution board. This is the main switch. And then we need 2 sub distribution board. You see, this is one for the skin accommodation for air conditioning. And this one go to the sub MCB board for the kitchen. This is mainly for the kitchen. The kitchen MCB board. So there's 2 MCCB, mount the case circuit breaker. This one is to control this box, and this one goes to this distribution board. The 2 distribution board. Okay, we talk about ventilation. Ventilation is different from air conditioning. We talk about ventilation first. Ventilation is mostly the exhaust air and fresh air intake. Now you see, this is a fresh air intake. Fresh air intake. Fresh air intake. You see, fresh air duct. This is fresh air duct. You go through this duct into the kitchen. This is the kitchen. This is exhaust hood. Now you see the fresh air. The fresh air outlet here, and blow into the kitchen for the consumption of the cooking device. This exhaust hood. And from the exhaust hood, there's exhaust pipe. You see, this is the electrostatic precipitator. This is the filter, the film. This kind of filter, air filter, exhaust fan, essential filter fan, exhaust fan, a bowl fan. This is a fire damper here. The fireproofing, fire damper inside the wall, and both exhaust. This is exhaust air, that exhaust air out to the exterior. And this is the fresh air inlet for the sitting accommodation. Is for the people. Prime air unit. This cooling the air conditioner. So there's fresh air duct into the fan coil unit. You supply the air conditioner. So this fresh air is for the supply of the air conditioning. Apply ventilation certificate from the fire service department. So you should submit this drawing to the fire service department. It's important. Endorsed by the engineer, so apply for the ventilation certificate. Just to integrate the exhaust air and the fresh air in it. This fan coil unit is to make the cool air. You see, this fresh air duct from here, and then discharge into the fan coil unit, so they blow the fresh air out. And this also the fresh air out for the customers. Air conditioning, the fan coil unit. Now you see, this is the fresh air. This fresh air does for the customer mostly. This is the primary unit. You see, primary unit. You blow out the fresh air duct. You blow up the cool air duct. You cool the air and then blow it out through here. This is the kitchen exhaust duct. And then this is the fan coil unit. It looks like this. Fan coil unit, you see here, they blow the cool air here, blow out here. This is for the making of the air conditioning. Okay, this will end our brief lesson about the kitchen layout construction. Mostly for the legal requirement, for the licensing requirement. So, thank you very much for your watching. See you again. Bye-bye.